The alarm screams at 4 a.m., a brutal interruption to the dream state, a sound most people hit the snooze button on and roll over to escape. But this sound, this seemingly simple chime in the cold darkness, is not an inconvenience, it is an invitation. It is the first critical decision point of your day, and it tells the absolute uncompromising truth about your ambition. It separates the spectators from the gladiators, the wishers from the wealthy, the average from the architects of their own destiny. You ask, what do the top 1% know? They don't know a secret stock market trick. They don't have a better contact list, and they certainly don't possess a different physiology. They know one thing that changes everything. The morning is not a time of day, it is a state of mind. It is a vacuum of noise, a sanctuary of stillness, and a battlefield for momentum. When the world is asleep, when the noise of everyone else's demands, opinions, and fears is silenced, you have a brief, powerful window, a sacred time, to program the trajectory of your entire future. Most people wake up reacting to the world. The elite wake up creating it. Think of the greats, Henry Ford, battling the notion of the horseless carriage, Thomas Edison, embracing failure as merely one step closer to success, Abraham Lincoln, navigating the crushing weight of a nation divided. Do you think their success was found in a moment of casual inspiration after a leisurely breakfast? No. It was forged in the unseen hours, the disciplined solitude, the moments when the clarity of their chief aim was refined and hammered into an unbreakable conviction. They understood that the day is not an 8-hour shift, it is a 24-hour ecosystem where every choice either builds a cathedral or a sandcastle. The 4 a.m. revelation is the brutal realization that the life you dream of requires a higher caliber of self-discipline than the life you currently tolerate. This moment of silence is the moment you stop asking for permission and start giving yourself a command. You are not just getting out of bed, you are rising to meet the highest, most demanding version of yourself. This is where the foundation of an unbreakable will is laid. This discipline isn't about punishment, it's about protection. It protects your vision from the corrosive influence of distraction, procrastination, and external mediocrity. It ensures that the first energy, the freshest mind, and the purest focus are spent on the one thing that truly matters, your purpose. If you give your best energy to your work, to your health, to your most challenging problem before you give anything to email, social media, or the urgent demands of others, you have already won the most important war of the day. The rest of the day becomes a simple execution of a victory already secured. You have built a momentum shield. You have already completed the most difficult task, the task of self-mastery. That quiet hour, that time you spend in deep thought, in visualization, in the physical expression of discipline, is the interest you pay now for the exponential success you will earn later. When you wake up late, you are immediately playing catch-up, immediately feeling the pressure of time, and immediately handing the steering wheel of your life over to circumstance. When you seize the 4 a.m. hour, you become the master of momentum. You are not running on time. Time is now running on your schedule, dictated by your will. This transition from reacting to creating is the core secret the top 1% guard with fierce, unyielding discipline. It is the genesis of all true power. Now, let's talk about belief. Belief is not a soft, comforting idea. It is a hardened steel anchor. It is the mechanism that converts the invisible idea you forged in the quiet morning hour into the tangible fortune you seek. Napoleon Hill didn't write about wishing for riches. He wrote about the burning desire, the definite chief aim. That definiteness cannot coexist with doubt. Doubt is the lazy man's comfort blanket. When you operate from a place of deep, unshakable belief, your actions change. You don't tentatively try, you commit. When Thomas Edison stated, "I have not failed, I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work," he was articulating a fundamental belief in the inevitability of his success, not the probability. His belief was the engine that sustained the effort through the temporary setbacks. When you rise early, when you are disciplined, when you are actively working on your vision while the world slumbers, you are not just executing tasks, you are reinforcing that belief structure. Every single 4 a.m. decision is a vote of confidence in your future self. It is a proof of concept for your own discipline. You are telling your subconscious mind, "This is real. We are building this. Failure is not an option, only feedback." This leads directly to clarity and vision. Most people have a vague hope, a general wish for more money or more happiness. The elite have a blueprint. They can articulate in sharp detail what success looks like, what the monthly revenue needs to be, what the physical manifestation of that life is. This clarity is born in the quiet. You cannot find your definite chief aim while scrolling through the distractions of a midday office or the chaos of rush hour traffic. You find it when the air is still and the mind is clear. Use the silence of the dawn to perform the most powerful act a human can perform: intense, focused visualization. See the completed goal. Taste the victory. Feel the weight of the achievement. Don't just wish for a better job. See the name on the door. Feel the texture of the desk. Hear the sound of the key turning in the lock. This isn't mystical thinking. This is neuroprogramming. The mind cannot distinguish between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. By visualizing your victory at 4 a.m., you are quite literally pre-wiring your brain for success, making the necessary actions feel intuitive, inevitable, and right. You are conditioning your mental muscle to recognize and seize the opportunities that the average mind will simply let slip by. This active vision is not passive dreaming. It is the active, aggressive design of your reality.
That sounds great. To maintain the continuous, seamless flow of the motivational script, I will now add the next significant section, focusing on the concepts of definiteness of purpose, the Napoleon Hill core, and the practical application of discipline as leverage, continuing the powerful, uncompromising tone. You have answered the chime, seized the silence, and programmed your mind for victory. But momentum, like a powerful current, must be guided by an absolute certainty of destination. This brings us to the crucial pivot, the tyranny of the undecided. Most people are wandering generalists. They are interested in success, but they are not committed to a specific non-negotiable outcome. Their energy is diffuse, spread thin across 7 different projects, 4 different side hustles, and 3 different philosophies. They mistake activity for achievement. The elite operate with a level of definiteness of purpose that scares the average mind. They don't just want to be successful. They know the exact metric of success, the precise date, the exact income, the specific market share. They understand that a ship sailing without a charted course is guaranteed to drift, and eventually it will founder. Your 4 a.m. commitment is the time to ruthlessly prune every non-essential activity that does not directly feed your chief aim. This is not about being busy. It's about being effective. Ask yourself, is this action a leverage point, something that amplifies my output? Or is it simply a maintenance task, something that keeps me stuck on the treadmill? The answer dictates your next hour, and your next hour dictates your destiny. Think of Andrew Carnegie. His wealth was not built on general ambition. It was built on a precise focus, steel. He understood the immense transformative power of one definitive objective, supported by a master plan and backed by a disciplined team. He didn't dabble in textiles and then jump to oil. He built an empire through singularity of focus. You must apply this same principle to your own life, especially in the sacred 4 a.m. hours. Your first task must be the keystone habit. The one action that, when executed successfully, makes every other action easier or unnecessary. If you are an author, it's writing. If you're a founder, it's selling or innovating. If you're a student, it's focused study. Anything else, checking metrics, organizing files, answering non-critical emails, is simply high-level procrastination. This relentless focus leads us to understanding discipline as leverage. The average person views discipline as a chain, a painful restriction that limits freedom. The elite view discipline as a lever, a tool that multiplies their effort, creating an output that is dramatically disproportionate to the input. When you practice the 4 a.m. discipline, you are doing more than just waking up early. You are mastering the most fundamental skill, the ability to force yourself to do what you should do when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. This is the ultimate form of personal freedom. The more disciplined you are with your time, your health, and your money, the more options you create. The undisciplined mind is a slave to impulse, to comfort, to instant gratification. The disciplined mind is the master regulator of their own success. They choose the pain of discipline now to avoid the pain of regret later. Your morning discipline creates a psychological depth of honor. You made a commitment to yourself in the silence of the dawn. When the inevitable resistance hits later in the day, the fatigue, the distractions, the seductive lure of ease, you cannot easily break that self-imposed oath. You have already invested significant willpower, and your subconscious mind refuses to let that investment go to waste. This is the compounding interest of commitment. It's why the person who wins the morning is so much more likely to win the afternoon and secure the evening. The leverage isn't just about gaining extra hours. It's about gaining psychological superiority over your own limitations. Now we must address the external world, the inevitable friction between your personal discipline and the chaotic demands of others. This is the phase of strategic resistance. The moment you truly commit to your extraordinary path, the world will attempt to drag you back to average. Friends will question your drive, colleagues will resent your focus, and the endless stream of digital communication will attempt to steal your time. Your definite purpose must be armored with a non-negotiable strategy. The 4 a.m. revelation gives you the foresight to build your defense. You must establish boundaries like walls of concrete, not polite suggestions. Your most precious resource is not money, it is focused attention. The elite treat their attention like gold, spending it only on tasks that generate maximum return. Most people treat their attention like confetti, tossing it randomly at every notification, every request, every unnecessary email. You must learn to say no with conviction. No to the good, so you can say an absolute yes to the great. Every time you say no to a distraction, you are saying yes to the future version of yourself, the successful, fulfilled, sovereign self you are building in the quiet hours. This sovereignty is reinforced by a principle that underpins all great fortunes and movements, the mastermind principle. Napoleon Hill articulated this as the coordination of knowledge and effort between two or more people working towards a definite purpose in a spirit of harmony. Your journey to the top is not meant to be a solitary prison sentence, but a disciplined collaboration. The 4 a.m. clarity helps you identify who belongs in your mastermind circle and who is simply draining your momentum. Do the people around you elevate your thought, challenge your comfort, and reinforce your definite purpose? Or do they commiserate, encourage complacency, and perpetuate the average? Be ruthless in your evaluation. Your environment is either a greenhouse for your ambition or a graveyard for your dreams. The top 1% understand that the fastest way to accelerate their progress is through strategic, harmonious association with people who are playing a bigger game. Use the silence to identify those key partners, those mentors, those intellectual allies who will not tolerate your mediocrity. This is the final, powerful step towards converting belief into an undeniable, tangible reality. The foundation is laid, the purpose is defined, the leverage is secured. Now, you must simply move.